Hi, everybody. We're back. We're back.
Hello.
We missed you last week. Lovely to see you here.
Hello, Ricky, Tarot by Lupo, Monica Murray, Angela, Suzanne, Andrea. Hi, everyone.
Hi.
Oh, we miss you when it's a week away, I tell you.
Truly, true that. So how has your couple of weeks been? We've just had our Thanksgiving holiday. It's okay. You can come in closer. I got to come this way a little bit more. There we go.
Okay.
We just had
I feel like I'm supposed to go this way more.
We're supposed to be tighter together.
Okay.
We just had our Thanksgiving holiday here in Canada, and we didn't really do much. We didn't have a family gathering. We're actually going to have that next weekend because my other daughter is coming to visit. And as you know, I took last week off in order to do some filming for the production of courses for the new website. And well, we had everything go wrong that could, no, not everything that could go wrong.
No, everything.
A lot of tech glitches. So we're now in new computer, new mics, guess I needed an upgrade in a lot of things. This is still the old computer, by the way. Anyway, we're still smiling. We're still laughing.
Yeah, we're really learning a lot about pivoting under pressure and how to work together rather than taking the stress out on each other.
Totally.
And,
yeah.
Continuing to stay focused on the big picture, which is bringing our offerings to all of you and to the world, which is
totally. So we're going to just give you a little heads up now and maybe mention it again at the end of this live. And that is that we are launching a new website. We've moved the date, the finish line forward a bit because we've just had some, as I said, setbacks in the last couple of weeks. The new date for the soft launch of the new website is November 4th and 5th.
Mm-hmm.
And so we will keep you notified about what you can look forward to there. We'll get into talking a bit more about that next week and the week after. Might even have a special guest coming on our show with us. So
wouldn't that be cool?
Yes,
yeah,
definitely. So excited to be here and to be exploring your questions and getting back into this frequency of looking at information with this wide lens, with this telescopic lens. So let's get started, shall we?
Yeah, Suzanne, that sounds so exciting. Thank you so much. We think so.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and like you are our top people that we look forward to sharing all of it with. So, so that being said, if you haven't subscribed to our emailing list on our current website, please go ahead and do so before, like soon.
Before the 4th.
Yeah, the link to the website is down below here, and that's going to be, everybody will get notified through an email and obviously on here also. Yada.
And just to clarify, the new website will have the same email, it'll have the same email address and it will have the same, what is it called? URL. Yeah. So it's just that the old site will no longer be active. And so that's going to mean for current site members and people holding loyalty points and so on, we'll be describing that and sending out emails to everybody, all the subscribers and all the members and everything. So yes, all of that is coming into play. So let's look at questions.
We have some excellent questions coming up here. We're going to start with Ricky's. Does President Trump's peace deal signal world peace is happening now? Mm-hmm. Thank you, Ricky. Mm-hmm. Such a good question. Mm-hmm. And shall we both shuffle on this one?
I believe we shall. It's what I'm hearing is, which comes first, the chicken or the egg? And Yeah, interesting. It's just reminding me of the thoughts that I had on my walk this morning, which was about how even things that were prophesied a couple of months ago in terms of what's possible at this time or what's probable, it does feel like they've changed for the better. So that is, and again, it doesn't mean we're out of the woods. It doesn't mean we now like lay back and go, okay, we don't have to worry, just let it all unfold. We are part of that unfolding. So we have to stay absolutely, in this beautiful frequency. But there's a lot of reason. Yeah, don't count your chickens before they're hatched. A lot of chicken metaphors coming through here, Kristal. I don't know what that's about. Okay, so here is us. I'm going to answer focused answer. Does that feel good?
I think that's a good idea.
Here's us. And the answer to the question, does this indicate world peace? A great move, a great strategic move.
Yeah.
And now we wait, right? And now there's a waiting. Like it started something, it's heading in the good direction, but we also are going back, right? I like with this Seven of Swords, he's looking forward, but moving backwards. And then we've got also the 17, the star. So here we are holding already new earth frequency, that high vibration. So we will be part of the navigation to the peace frequency because we're already holding that frequency. This maneuver by Trump, it's interesting. They're showing me a red hat here. So I don't know if we're just white hats at this point. It feels like there's something else going on. And when I think of red, I think of stop, right? Halting something. So it's about stopping something of the old system, putting it on hold, right? The hanging man. And by doing this, it forces the grief to come to the surface because a lot of these wars are as a result of unresolved grief, right? People who've lived through so many generations of wartime in that part of the world, many parts of the world. There's intergenerational trauma that is unexpressed grief, and it turns into violence. It turns into something. So this is halting the natural, like not natural. This is halting the traumatic cycle. It's kind of like saying the buck stops here. We're not going back into that trauma cycle. It's just like a cycle that goes around and around. So this is forcing the feelings to come to the surface. And wow. So weigh in, Kristal. Oh, look at that. 2 7s.
Yeah, it's interesting with the tower there, right? Like I feel like when you're expressing, could we move them over just towards me a little
Sure,
bit? So they're in the
absolutely.
center there. And thank you. So although this does signal peace, the peace deal does signal peace. But like one mom was saying, with all of this trauma that has been built up through all of the years of history and fighting and deep dysfunction, I feel like still going to be hard for people there to trust peace at all, to even like be able to act in a peaceful way, because like I feel like there's still going to be a lot of disappointment for much of the people that these peace deals are for. And that just because there's a peace deal, it doesn't mean that there's not still lots that could still crumble. Interesting, even Suzanne here said maybe the walls of Jericho has to fall into 1,000 pieces first. Boom. So this is going to shake down more potentially in the ways of like, it may come under the guise of peace, but it could also even stir emotions up more, could also activate like the walls of Jericho coming down. Like there could be more fallout before there's peace, almost like when we're healing, sometimes it gets worse before it gets better.
Like a healing crisis.
Yeah, and there's going to be definitely some people that are, straddling the divide, some people that are really holding it down for other people that are just needing to like fall apart. Sometimes when we come into the safety of even the arms that we love, the arms of someone that we love, we fall apart even more once there is a certain amount of peace or safety that's come forward.
Beautifully put. And I mean, look at this, Ricky. This is the peace card. Look at it. It's the dove of peace. And what I do feel is happening is that people may be more likely to turn on the systems than each other. Like when you're saying, Suzanne, about the walls of Jericho being dismantled, or these old power dominant systems, like it feels like people will be more like angry at even their own religion, their own like governments. It's less about people attacking the other across literally. I mean, we know about the Middle East. A lot of these people have been living as neighbors for thousands of years. Like it's like attacking your neighbor in your neighborhood. I mean, they even did genealogical studies between like a lot of the Middle Eastern Muslims and Jewish people, and they're related. they're related. So it's like attacking within your own family or your own neighborhood. They just, the other side of the tracks because they attacked you, because they attacked you, because they attacked you. And it's sort of like suddenly people are going to be like, oh, wait a minute, we don't want tracks anymore. We don't want these. Like, can we just stop with all of this old system? So I think the system is what's going to be dismantled.
Yeah.
And when I say system, what I refer to is these rigid old paradigm narratives that are, you have to identify. Are you
this side?
This side? Are you this side? Are you this religion? Are you this ethnicity?
Yes.
Are you this thing and this thing? And
yes.
And again, we don't want to go into homogenous, but often you'll notice, I know even this is a bit of a side example, but in Canada, for example, when you go and live in the north, for many years ago, I lived in the Northern Territory, one of the Northern Territories of Canada. And once you got up above the 60th parallel, people didn't consider, so we were beside Alaska, but people up north they weren't as interested in Alaska, the US and Canada and Alaska and Yukon Territory. They all called themselves Northerners, and in a pinch, they would be more in solidarity with other Northerners than they would be with, people from their technical nation. So again, something to do with this is going to be enough of a stop on the old ways of automatic violence, to allow kind of like an emotional reset for a lot of these people.
Instigate some healing. This is interesting. We've got a side convo going on here. Ricky says, I have the M on both palms, and that card has the M on the cup holding the palm. And, LMB says, doesn't everyone have M on their palms? I do as well. And so does Electrical Girl. But no, not everyone has it as far as I know.
And I do have it, I think, or mostly have it.
I don't know.
Almost. I've got it started. Oh no, maybe it's on this hand. I have it. Yeah, I've got it sort of on this hand. Anyway, that's what you're looking at. She's looking at her hands. I was like, what are you doing?
I did. Well, I was just curious because it's not on everyone's. Ricky also has the crescent moon and cross both palms.
Cool,
Yeah,
cool, cool.
I just thought that was
Well, I
interesting.
mean, we could talk palmistry, and that'll be a really fun one. Let's do that another time.
Yeah.
Start off a show with that. So, wrapping this up, thank you for your question, Ricky. And moving along here.
What can the cards tell of Andorra, the president of France, automatically inherits a prince title, and it's said to be the remains of Atlantis, as it's on the border of tectonic plates.
Oh, okay. So this is.
How do I understand that question?
Yeah, I don't know quite what you're referring to, Suzanne. Are you referring to? Is it an island? So let us know more about that.
Automatically inherits a prince title, and it's said to be on the remains of Atlantis.
So Andorra.
Yeah.
So let's just ask, what do we need to know of Andorra?
Well, also in relevance to
France
and Atlantis. Going for it.
Oh,
nope.
Here.
Okay. We're good.
She's like, no, I don't want to.
No,
I don't want to weigh in.
I'll weigh in.
No.
Intuited, just going for
it. I really get that there's some wealth there. I get that there's something was taken there and buried, because these are 2 earth cards. Yeah, if something was buried. Now, I wonder, is this like a technology, or is it like, feels more to me like it is, because if it was knowledge or technology, it would be swords. Because it's all pentacles here, it feels like it would be something like maybe metals or
Holy Grail. Yeah.
Let's keep looking. Oh, right. So something was hidden there. Look at this. We've got the boats.
It's in the Pyrenees between Spain and France. Okay.
Something is hidden there. Something was brought from Atlantis and hidden there. Actually, I'm wondering if it is from Atlantis, because it maybe a long time ago, but about 2,000 years ago, something was hidden there. It was almost like putting it there in case of a rainy day, like the way you would bury, gold in your backyard or something. Because look at all these pentacles.
Oh, Suzanne saying, I'm thinking it may have to do with Mary Magdalene as well.
Okay, well, there's this Queen of Swords.
Like Emma says, the Holy Grail.
Oh, well, there's the Queen of Swords and the Holy Grail. Oh, it's so interesting. I have to say, it feels to me, you kind of have a yes with that, but it's almost more, it feels very practical. Like all these pentacles, and as soon as I saw these 2, I was like, something was taken there, and I was really getting a feeling of from another place across the ocean.
Yeah.
And then things were kept there kind of on reserve. So it's like a reserve for a time where we're going to need something.
It's interesting because it almost feels like it was brought over by a king. Because it's interesting too, because we're asking about the president of France and automatically inheriting a prince title. So we've got right? Like this younger energy here.
It feels to me like there was two warring factions about 2,000 years ago, and they something needed to be hidden and protected so that if they ran out of currency, there would be a reserve somewhere. So there's something hidden in that area, is what I'm being shown.
It's always been very important. Strategic place over the millennia is also something about a lookout point for the Milky Way.
Okay, let me have a look at that. I have a suspicion about what that's about. Yeah. Okay. So, yeah, it actually, because it was a place that everyone knew, it was already a place like a pilgrimage spot. So it's easy to say, go to the blah, blah spot, even if it's kind of hidden up in the mountains, right? So if you were trying to pass along the message that there was reserves hidden somewhere, you would say, you would call it by its spiritual name, and then it would throw other people off the trail. It's kind of like code language, right? Like, so it would be the spiritual name of that area, but it's actually where the treasure is buried, is what I'm being shown.
Okay.
Because look at all these pentacles. I mean, that's not about technology. That's about coin.
Wealth.
Yeah,
that's about wealth.
Totally.
Okay. Super. That's that.
Cool.
Yeah, super cool. Wonder what's down there.
I know.
Wonder what's buried there. All right, next on here.
I'm going to let you shuffle this one.
Okay, this may be a topic you don't want to address, and if so, I understand, but many I know want to know if the Liberals will confiscate guns from legal owners.
Let's look at it.
Absolutely.
Kristal's going to shuffle on this one. So when we're talking about
talk about the Liberals,
I'm suspecting you're talking about the Canadian Liberal government, but we can look at Canada specifically and then branch out also to that Liberal agenda globally, internationally.
I want to know if the Liberals will confiscate guns from legal owners. I also want to know such a thing.
I do too.
Oh, you're not shuffling on that.
You go right ahead and divide her up there, kiddo. Which one? Super. Okay. So here we are. Ooh. Sun and the moon. Okay.
Wild.
Well,
tell me what happens when that happens. Tell us.
It's kind of like what's out in the open and what's hidden in this daylight and nighttime. So two approaches, daylight, nighttime. Okay, we're in the daylight. They're trying to operate in the nighttime. But guess what? It's getting pretty bright. If you're trying to hide something, if you're trying to like sort of go about things in a sort of threatening way, scaring people, you're relying on it staying dark, right? If you're trying to steal something, you're relying on it staying dark. But so I think they're going to really focus on making it look really scary. It also feels almost like they will resort to literally heisting guns from gun suppliers or something.
Well, let's continue this reading here.
Another one of these. King of Pentacles showing up again. Oh, yeah. I don't think that they're going to get very far with this. I think they might really try to push the fear button.
Yeah.
But there's too many people are talking about this.
Yes.
And men are like, no way are you going to disarm me. No way.
Yeah.
Men are just like, a lot of men are like, no. Oh yeah.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm. Very interesting.
It's kind yeah, it's kind of like old systems crumbling down, like we're overriding the old systems, and the old systems, they're losing the legs that they're standing on.
Mhm.
So they're going to try the fear tactic and coming in and potentially like implementing these like laws, or literally actually trying to come in and take the guns. But they don't, again, with that page there, it's like they don't have a lot to stand on.
Mhm.
There's really like it's kind of a half-assed kind of effort. There's not a lot of power behind it.
It's interesting, right? Because I feel like we're also going to start to see what this does is it cracks the officialdom of gun ownership. So a lot of people will just be like, screw it, I'm just going to hide it. I'm going to hide them. Like it's going to sort of start this whole like, which of course is not ideal, right? But there's like, this is a very, very innocent card.
Mm-hmm.
And it feels like once things have been exposed, oh, okay, those laws, we thought they were for our benefit, but now we see that they're actually trying to like steal our, it's almost like I'm being shown like BB guns and kids. Like I'm being shown looking back to the era where it was, you know, I think that this escalation of these advanced weapons, like, you know, higher and higher caliber rifles and higher caliber handguns and all this kind of stuff, you know, it's like, I feel like getting back to really simple weaponry where it would be.
Suzanne is just saying, gotta get making a hardy slingshot as no gun ownership allowed in fascist Sweden.
Right. And I'm almost getting that like the young generation are gonna have so many workarounds. Like they'll be able to make stuff with like 3D printers and like it's just this like as far as they try to like hammer it in, it's going to like create this like innocent sort of, it's an innocent workaround, which maybe we're saying, okay, yeah, gun legislation and firearm training is so important, but it's gotten just so ridiculous. Like it used to be, you know, back up like in the Wild West or whatever, but every kid had a BB gun and practice shooting squirrels on the property or whatever. Like it's just gotten so ridiculous, right? So I feel like we're going to see almost a revival. It's going to have the opposite effect. It's going to create this like interest in bringing this back into like community regulation and like, I don't know, just feels like old world values coming back around this is what I'm being shown. So does that resonate with anybody?
Vegas feels like Wild West here, the way people drive.
Right? It's like, you know, we're taking people's weapons. It just feels strange the way this has been done. It's almost like what we need to get back to is training our youth to be responsible with things that are dangerous. Like you said, you know, slingshots, crossbows are coming back into popularity, right? And like knife throwing is coming. Like, what are they going to do? Take every single thing that people have?
Also, our bodies, like our martial arts and our self-defense, and not just hiding behind the weapon, but actually coming into our ability to truly defend ourselves with our rights, our intelligence, our weaponry, our community.
And it's interesting. I think the youth are going to have something to do with all this. And we have to say, I mean, I am not a fan of video games and that whole culture, but we've trained youth to be really normalizing of weaponry, and they're not going to stand by and let everything be, like it just feels like we've normalized it over here, but we're trying to take full control over here, and the youth are going to go, wait a minute, and they're going to go, oh yeah, we know how to get out of this. We know how to get out of these constricting kind of labyrinths, because that's what all the video games are about. How do you navigate? How do you pivot? How do you override things and move up levels? And look out, this youth that we have, they are so creatively they won't rebel the old fashioned way, standing out in the street with placards and holding their firearms in the air. They'll just go, like I said, they'll go off and start 3D printing them or something. It's like,
we used to have a BB gun shooting range in middle school, Suzanne says. Gosh, I feel old. Well, this is the thing too, right? Like with more and more people educating their children at home and in underground education, parallel systems, we will be teaching our children different ways of defense and different ways of weapon wielding, and I mean, bringing back BB gun ranges and axe throwing and knife skills,
it's not about like inciting violence. It's actually about teaching responsible ways to work with things that kids are going to find a way to get anyway. You think these youth are not going to find a way to circumvent these laws? Yeah. Like it was ever thus. Youth will rebel.
Sweden prohibits homeschooling.
Yeah. Crazy.
Says something about homeschooling, doesn't it?
Good one, Kristal.
Just so ridiculous.
Okay, let's go to the next question.
Oh, I love this next question. Okay, was the World Fairs from the late 1800s to early 1900s, including the most recent expos, all about indoctrination of the masses?
Well, it's very interesting. We've had World Fairs described as Tartarian-like bridges. We've had them described in so many different ways. So I do not know. I don't have a strong feeling one way or the other about this. Good question.
Yes, electrical girl. What do we need to know about World Fairs?
I just want to point out, this is something I'm developing my intuition programs and my tarot level 1 and 2 programs that I'm going to be featuring on the new website. I've been teaching intuition and tarot and written 2 books on tarot, and for years I've been doing this, but now it's coming out in a more official online version. And one of the things that I'm focus on is this balance between our intuition and our logical, rational, problem-solving brain. And it's not about one over the other. It's about working with them in tandem. So this is an example of what we just did with that last question, and what hopefully you observe us doing with a lot of these questions. It's sort of like looking at the cards, tuning in this beautiful whole brain. I call it the whole brain state, which is really working with our emotional intelligence, all our senses, sensing, because the subconscious has answers that the conscious mind is too busy coming to quick solutions or quick assist to miss a lot of complexity of information. So the tarot and intuition gives us like this deep kind of perspective. And then we can look at that deep perspective and start using our common sense brain that goes, yeah, that actually makes sense. And we can point out the actual factual rationale. Does that make sense? So, what we talked about with this, are the liberals going to take the guns? It's like we get this feeling of they're going to try, but there's going to be all these ways, these innovative ways that humanity, especially the youth, will react to that, which will make it not a success. we're doing both looking at the cards and then applying our own rational intelligence to that as well. So this is such a great way to work with intuition. It's not about everything the cards say is like written in stone and has the most value of all. It's as valuable as it matches our common sense. Does that make sense?
Sense.
Okay. World
I'm
Fair.
not exactly sure. I kind of tuned you out a little bit. It happens to the best of us at the best of
I
times.
hope my courses are more
No,
interesting
oh my
than
gosh, no, it wasn't that. I was looking at some of the comments and stuff.
Oh.
However, I do also feel like that's why it's nice that we share what cards we're looking at with all of you, because you're going to each have your own perspectives and based upon the lens with which your intuition comes through. And so it's so nice for us then to have your guides on board and your comments to bring perspectives to what we're seeing too, right?
Yeah. Okay, answer to the question. Here's us. Oh, here's us. Here's us. Okay, first of all, high levels of intelligence. So there's something about a demand. Humanity grows to a place where we're not satisfied. It's like the shift from religion into science. We're no longer satisfied just being told that this is that and this is that and that's because of this. It's like the human mind, the curiosity, the ingenuity, the growth of our minds caused there to be a need to give us more like meaningful scientific things. I feel like it's interesting that we are this. Before the World's Fairs were put out for probably two different reasons. There's probably a positive and a underground agenda with them.
Mm-hmm.
But it's almost like this is capturing my attention. This is more important. What caused this to even surface was, they say like, we have to, like media, for example, I hope has to start to create entertainment to match the intelligence level of its audience. If you just keep putting out garbage, people will just eventually tune it out and you won't have an audience anymore. So it's like whatever powers were steering, they recognized that we needed more higher intellectual information and evidence. We were asking more questions. So humanity's evolution intellectually created the need for this. So that's very beautiful. Yes. Okay. Almost like, man cannot live on bread alone. Like our minds needed more like food for thought. And people, even if they didn't have money, this was something about the World Fairs. People would like spend their last dime.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. It gave people like some way that they could all come together, even if they didn't have much. Like it gave everybody something in one way or another, right? And you could have like all you had to do was show up. You didn't even, where you'd save your last penny to go
the admission fee.
Yeah, the admission fee to just go and have an experience. So there was something about it uplifted people in a certain way, and there was that was the intelligence of it, was to kind of like get everybody could come, right? So it kind of got everybody sort of roped in.
So the good aspect was that we were drawn in because we our intelligence demanded more. However, there was a nefarious agenda planted in there as well. And
Suzanne says the world fairs were definitely to demolish our true identity in history, setting the stage for the Nazi world order.
But interesting, there was also an aspect of just like what you start to realize, even like they say with cults, right? Like 80% of what they, certainly what they start you off on, right? Just like getting someone addicted to a drug, they start you off, most of it is true. And a lot of it is real next level, like super empowering information, right? So they get people in and hooked, and then they start directing them. Once they're hooked, they're lining up and going, whatever you're selling, we're buying it, right? Because this is incredible. Like, people had their minds blown. So then they're like, okay, progress, technology, mechanical age, corporate directorship of life on earth, scientific approach. People were sold hook, line, and sinker, that's where we gave too much of our power to these things, right? We were so wowed that we just folded over everything and said, we're on board with this. And
and not even, there just was no questioning.
There was no questioning. Look at this, the Queen and King of Swords. She's the same one that showed up around when we asked the question about that place in France. So we started off just being so fixated on, give me the goods. I want, my brain wants to be challenged. I'm hungry for information. I'm hungry for higher knowledge. But now the Queen of Swords is a lot more discerning than the King. He's so scientific. He's like down the rabbit hole, like the mad scientist off in his, his laboratory, just cooking up stuff because he can't get out of his own mind. He's so hooked. He's so under the spell of his intelligence, right? But the Queen of Swords, she's a lot more, I want to say, she certainly has a lot of boundaries and discernment, and she's not as wooed by all the trappings of intelligence. She's very shrewd. She's shrewd, not wooed. And so we're applying a lot more discernment and going, yeah, okay, great. You gave this, this, and this. We're going to sort through that. We want that. We want that. Get rid of the rest of that. We don't buy it. We don't want it. Goodbye. Right? So she's fierce. Oh yeah, she's fierce, and she's got her sword of truth ready to like cut through a lot of this. So
I mean, if we look at the question, let's look at the question here, right? Was the World Fairs, including the most recent expos, all about indoctrination of the masses? Well, if we look at this and this, that to me would say that it is about indoctrination of the masses.
Well, that's what it's turned out to be.
Massive amounts of high intelligence and influence with our yes card around information and essentially indoctrination.
But also, what was actually shared, more than half of it is very useful to humanity. So it's not that it was how it was used and how we were sold and bought into it.
Yeah.
Interesting. Suzanne's back talking about the part, that place, which is not a part of France. It's its own territory. Interesting. There's also a small island off the coast here in Canada that is part of France. Saint-Pierre-Miquelon Island is French, but it's here. So there's some interesting things with these colonial nations of Europe. Like, they have tentacles that reach all over the globe, and Yeah, this one in
It's
particular.
difficult to believe that these huge events built on hundreds of acres in the UK and Europe was possible because there was no modern construction machinery back then.
Yeah. Yeah. And you know, fascinating, right? Crystal Palace destroyed, like a lot of these sites went up in flames. Like, what's that about, right? Yeah. Let's pull a couple of cards on that. Okay, interesting. Well, let's say there's higher intelligence, which I don't like to call alien. I like to call it other versions of ourself through different time-space dimension. So future or ancient past versions of us coming now to give us little clues, hints, leg ups, right? So let's say that there was that happening from other versions of us from a different time-space dimension came in and did something that allowed us to miraculously create these things. And it wasn't meant to stay. It wasn't meant to stay as a testament. It was meant to be like a flash, have this experience, and then be literally taken away through fire, destruction. So it was meant to be temporary. Yes, just to get awaken us, then we have to find our way there because they can't, it's part of free will. They can't just give us stuff. We have to get there on our own. Because if we're given too much too soon, it becomes dangerous to us, which is kind of like we were talking earlier about weapons, right? You have to know what to give the young person and what to give the person that's more mature and then the most mature person. We weren't mature enough to have permanent installations of a lot of that stuff at that time because we couldn't discern.
Trump is planning a world fair in the USA for 250th birthday.
And I'm going to pull some cards on that. I saw something about that before it was even announced. And I actually saw us doing a grassroots version of that that's even more powerful, which I was calling, what did I call it? The world tour of new paradigm technology and ingenuity, new paradigm models of society, basically our
like
community.
We design our own world fair.
Yeah. And
Yeah,
it travels. It's a traveling World's Fair that's very grassroots and based on awake, conscious truther people all over the planet. Yeah, I don't know that this is going to happen. I think the idea was put out there, but I think there's too much weighing it, pulling it down. So I'm doubting that's going to happen. It might be delayed by a couple of years.
Expo Japan just ended on the 13th and Boston Expo 2026 is next.
Yeah. World Wonder Fairest.
World Wonder Fairies.
Fairies.
Yeah.
So I'm getting that there will be delays.
Trump has also promised flying cars and ancient Greek style buildings.
Well, I mean, right?
Sorry, I'm going away with the comments here,
but I feel we've got these 2 twos, and I think it's going to be delayed because there's too much messiness right now. You know, gosh, he needs to talk to us and get some real intel happening here. It's too soon. Don't do it in 2026. It's not the right year. I'm getting, at least 2027 or 8. Yeah. Maybe the 7th month of 2020. So, this idea that it's going to be launched to correspond with the birthday, again, even that, it's kind of like there's just something this is me eating my own words, right? Because there's something about getting really attached to these birth dates. And, even though the birth date of the US and the 250th anniversary, why do we say 250 is so great? Maybe 252 is the better number.
Right.
It's
Stuck on those even numbers.
Yeah, it's like, 25 and it's the 250th. Boy, we got to hit that magic number. It's like, well, maybe just don't understand magic numbers, right? So, yeah.
Promoting AI is a big theme of these World Expos.
Right.
AI is a big theme of the world.
Yeah, and again, this discernment is just coming in strong, and 2 aces here. So basically what I'm being shown is the different versions, time and space versions of us are going to ensure this time that things don't happen until we can really tune into this and take it in a beautiful new earth direction and not have it hijacked again. So it's being held back, but we can create our own grassroots version, and that may steal the show in a way, is what I'm hearing.
Speaking of stealing the show, don't forget to watch me on the VR Karma show tonight. Thank you, Tara by Lupo. Tonight at 5 p.m. Eastern time. You know what? And I was thinking about this morning. The funny things that pop into your head upon waking hours. If you all haven't checked out Tarot by Lupo, he does pull daily polls and spreads on his own YouTube channel. I follow him. He's got lovely insights, and so I do encourage you to go and check out Tarot by Lupo on YouTube as well, because he's in our community and we want to support that. So thank you, Tarot by Lupo, for continuing to show up and for continuing to offer your offerings, and we'd like to support you in that as well.
And this is something we want to do with our our new website. Is we want to create community forums where you can actually exchange your you're basically promote your services.
Yes,
we haven't figured out how we're going to
offerings.
design that exactly at this point, but it's in the works to create something that feels like we have a kind of ethics, basic agreement of ethics of how we're going to operate within that sharing community. And also, obviously, if we get reports of somebody's offerings that don't really resonate, we can take them off. But generally speaking, we want it to be a place, because we've met so many of you doing personal sessions, and you're amazing human beings that have so much to offer.
Yeah.
And what a great synergy of community that we have available to us. So we're going to be somehow weaving that into the new website as well.
I mean, you all have helped build us, so we would like to help build you too,
Totally.
because we're all in this together. So maybe a forum behind a sign-in. Yeah, that's essentially what we're going for. So
it's going to be a membership-based platform, and there is a fee for that, and we've got lots to talk about with all of you around this. There's going to be different versions and different options and different ways that you can access things, and we're also open to feedback, because this is the soft launch. We're going to be doing a more kind of public international launch in March of 2026. So this is our friends, family, subscribers, people that have been with us for a while, coming in and helping us basically design this platform and make it what we want it to be. So I look forward to sharing more about that with you.
Exciting. Okay, so looking so forward to this. Beautiful. Thank you. So are we, and that sounds fantastic. Thank you, Linda. And you're so welcome, Tarot by Lupo. Thanks for being here. What do we think? 4 minutes? Do we have space for one more question?
Oh, Angela, let's take Angela.
Okay.
Oh, sorry, Yvonne was before Angela, though.
Yeah.
And Spicy Dame is before that. Oh
Those
dear.
Those are bigger questions.
Trump safe. Can you look at
Schumann
Putin
resonance.
and the oligarchs and Black Lines yesterday said these were timeline shifts. Okay, I think we're going to do the Schumann resonance. Thank you for your other questions. They would be longer. So we're going to, if you can come in next week and bring those in, that would be awesome. And we'll remember that we're going to look at those next week.
We will.
Yeah. Angela, we're going to take your, I do feel I was drawn over to your question because, you know, 3i Atlas, Schumann resonance, there's a lot of exciting energy in the airwaves. And so I'm really curious about things like the black lines, timelines, and are they tied to the Trump peace accord, or is Trump tied to the timelines? Again, which came first?
Totally, hey.
Mhm.
Yeah. Alrighty, and let's have a look-see at it. Here,
Okay.
Mama.
Oh, it's so good to be back, isn't it?
It's so nice to be here.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Schumann resonance.
We've got a great
Separate black lines.
down the rabbit hole coming up on Thursday.
We
as
do.
well
We're looking at
together.
silver. We're looking at deep diving in on silver.
Yeah. Deep into the spirit of silver. Woo! Interesting.
No, not yet. Which one? You want to pick that one? You want that one on top?
I don't know. Now I'm confused.
Go ahead.
We're gonna take these two out.
Okay. And
Okay.
then which one do you want on top?
Yeah.
Yeah, me too. Okay.
Okay, so pull those.
Yeah. It was said they were timeline shifts. I'm going to do 3 cards.
Okay.
Feeling 3 cards. 1, 2, 3. Ooh. We're both oohing and awing because we have another queen and king together. So that's the second double. So, you know, the odds of the queen and king from the same sign being together in a little spread like this, right? They're 2 cards out of 78. So the odds of them showing up together, pretty low odds. Which means it just holds that much more significance. And
it's interesting too, because when we were looking at the peace accord, the hangman came in as the present time right now. Right?
And I kept saying which came
Ace
first.
of Cups that came in there
Correct.
also. So all of this is happening to activate our emotional bodies.
Or our emotional bodies are activating these actions because it does.
Same
it
loop.
feels like we really, what I'm hearing from a lot of today's questions and answers, the way spirit is bringing the information through, is we really are being invited to look at things the other way around. Our intelligence drew the desire for these scientific exposés to be necessary. We weren't easily controlled by superstition and, you know, ancient religious mythologies. We needed more. We were demanding more. Our intelligence was demanding more. Our emotional maturity, depth of emotional complexity is requiring a different form of leadership. Like we're just, we're calling in, you know, and it's interesting. Like when we were watching Pam Gregory the other day with that fellow, I don't remember his name, the guy that does all the astral stuff. Anyway,
one of the bajillions.
Yeah.
Stefan or something.
Yeah,
like that.
but they were talking about these dates, and she was really playing around with this idea, like, what is it? You know, did these dates make 3i Atlas come? Are we creating the like connection with this date or, astrological configuration, which may or may not, nothing might happen, right? Like things can happen because we're there ready. Like we got the catcher's mitt ready. And she was kind of saying the same thing. And I'm getting that perspective this whole reading today is that it's our readiness that's causing this Schumann resonance. Like you're saying, Angela, timelines are, and even the word split, what I'm hearing is expanding. It doesn't mean that we have to go black and white, right one, wrong one, good one, bad one. It means that we have more options. They're widening, right? They're widening. The options are widening. You can still dip down into the lower timeline, but you've now got, a whole bigger option. And
that expands our own natural bandwidth as well, right? It's almost like that hangman there is like the pause or like the space between. It's like it's the expansion that happens in the spaces between. So those black lines are kind of like maybe like timeline shifts and
bandwidth expansions.
Yeah.
And so, and again, though, even some of the words we used to use, and I used them a lot a year ago, 2 years ago, like splitting and earth splitting, and like, let's look at it as an expansion principle. Let's look at it as we have so much more choice available to us, because think about the amount of choice we've had in the way that the Kali Yuga cycle, where it's just narrow, like we've had so little option about how to navigate black and white, good and bad, right and wrong, good, bad, good, bad, good, bad, duality, polarity, And it's like, whoa, okay. It's opening up now. We got more options. There's more room for take a breath, start to meander your energy. We don't have to hurry up and choose a side. We need to get feeling. What is it like to have more space? What does it feel like to have more space emotionally, mentally, spiritually?
Anything else to add?
Nope.
Sure.
And Trump's accord is drawn from our deeper emotional maturity is making it so there's no other option but to move towards peace because the others aren't working. Okay, ready? Throw those down. Yep. Oh, that was upside down.
They're all upside down.
Let's put it in upside down. We never do that. We can talk about that. It's upside down right now. And look, he's the son.
Knight of Cups.
He's the son of those two. Right? We got the Queen and the King of Cups, and we've got their son, but he's upside down.
He's upside down.
So upside down cards, I don't read them as different, like totally different meanings. What I read them as is that they are present, but they're not accessible yet because they're blocked somehow. So we go to the next upright card to see what we need to do to unblock them. So we laid that one down first and then that one. So the closest upright card is the Seven of Pentacles, which is patience. So with patience, this knight will come into correct alignment, which is he is so trusting, emotionally ready for peace.
Yeah, and this 10 of Pentacles is really beautiful here too, because it's kind of like we have the time now to really focus on where we've planted our seeds and what the next 10 years look like, what is being activated now in that space, in that bandwidth is where we're really planting the seeds of the legacy that we have coming forward over the next 10 years. It's pretty, they're beautiful cards. Beautiful cards. Peace accord indeed.
And it takes longer to see the evidence on the outer, right? It takes time for us to see the fruits of this new emotional maturity and emotional quality that we have, which is peace. You know, it's the dignity of the new human or the original human returning, the human heart. It is so strong, right? We think about, oh, heart and love and unicorns and rainbows and fluffy, and it's, you know, it's somehow very vulnerable, but really love, the resonant frequency of the true human heart is unconquerable. It's uncorruptible. It survives all the worst that's been thrown at us for thousands of years and bounces back with the first opportunity. So here we go. And we will see in our lifetime, within the next maybe 7 to 10 years, evidence of these timeline expansions. So it's not about which timeline you choose, it's how expansive and what into the newer possibilities are you going to lean? Which way are you leaning? Leave it at that.
Thanks for coming late, Leo. We're just closing off, but nice to say hello and ciao for now to you. And thank you, Andrea. Utterly brilliant show. Utterly brilliant people.
Well,
that we're
it
working
has
with here.
so much to do with all of you and your presence, your energy, and what you bring into the dimensional container that we're holding so that all this extraordinary information can come through. So thank you.
And thank you for your questions. I'll see you all in a couple hours here.
And we'll see you next week.
Ciao for now, everyone.